Welcome to Stories for Sleep. Welcome to Stories for Sleep, a place where stories slow down, gentle enough for you to breathe deeply, and quiet enough for the mind to rest. When night falls, many of us bring the entire day into bed with us. The body is tired, but the mind is still wandering. And it is precisely in this space in between that dreams begin to appear like another world opening, when consciousness softly closes. A world where images, memories, and emotions flow without effort. In this video, we will move together through the most relaxing truths about dreams, not to analyze or decode them, but simply to listen. From the perspective of Carl Jung, dreams are not random events, but the gentle voice of the deepest part within you. When listened to in the right way, they do not wake you up, they help you let go. You do not need to focus. You do not need to remember. Just allow the sound to be there and let yourself drift. If you enjoy gentle stories that help the mind settle before sleep, please consider subscribing to Stories for Sleep and join me for many quiet nights ahead. And now, we begin. When night arrives and the light slowly withdraws from the room, something familiar happens to many of us. The body is ready to rest, but the mind refuses to sleep. Wandering thoughts, fragments of the day, unnamed emotions all move quietly through awareness, making sleep feel delicate and uncertain. And in that very moment, dreams begin to open, like another doorway of the mind. Dreams appear every night, naturally, without effort, without control, without instruction. They carry us into a world where logic steps aside and images, memories, and emotions begin to speak. Sometimes dreams are gentle, sometimes strange, sometimes difficult to understand, but they are rarely meaningless. The challenge is that in our busy, alert daytime lives, we often leave no space to listen to our own dreams. From Carl Gustav Jung's perspective, dreams are not random byproducts of a tired brain, but the voice of the unconscious, the deepest layer of the human psyche. It is where unfinished experiences, unspoken emotions, and unprocessed inner movements continue to live. Jung believed that dreams do not come to confuse us, but to help maintain inner balance in their own quiet way. This video is not meant to interpret dreams as right or wrong, nor does it ask you to analyze or remember anything. Instead, it offers a gentle journey through the most relaxing truths about dreams. Why we dream, what the brain does during sleep, why dreams feel both familiar and strange, and why you do not need to fully understand your dreams to sleep more deeply. As you listen, you do not need to concentrate. You do not need to hold on to every word. Simply let the sound guide you. Allow consciousness to step back and permit dreams, whether from tonight or from long ago, to exist just as they are. Perhaps that very letting go is what your sleep has been waiting for. And when you are ready, we will begin, very slowly, very gently, from that familiar yet unfamiliar world, the world of dreams. Part 1. When sleep opens another world, there is a very special moment each day that we rarely notice. It is when the light is off, the body is still, and daytime thoughts begin to leave the center of attention. Consciousness gradually loosens its habitual role of control, and in that quiet settling, dreams begin to appear uninvited, unnamed, yet always arriving on time. Dreams do not require effort to exist. They do not need planning, logic, or permission from reason. Like a world that generates itself at night, dreams open their own space where images flow naturally, where people appear and disappear, where stories unfold without anyone writing the script. This absence of effort is what makes dreams so gently soothing. In the dream world, everything flows. There is no need to ask why, no urgency to understand immediately. A familiar face may stand beside an unseen landscape. An old memory may blend with something that never happened. Dreams do not strictly separate past from present or reality from imagination. They follow a different kind of logic, the logic of emotion. From Jung's perspective, dreams are where consciousness steps aside and the unconscious is allowed to speak. In dreams, the mind does not try to express correctly. It simply reveals what is alive within. That is why dreams carry memory, imagination, and unnamed emotion all at once. A dream may begin from a very small detail of the day, a glance, a passing sentence, an unprocessed feeling. But in the dream, that detail no longer stands alone. It is placed beside other images, other emotions, forming a soft, sometimes strange, but rarely unfamiliar current. Because dreams in the end are made of you. What is interesting is that when we dream, we rarely feel that anything is wrong. No matter how illogical the dream may be in that moment, it feels true. This happens because consciousness, the part that judges, compares, and doubts, has stepped back, making room for a part of the mind that does not need to justify its existence. Here, dreams become a very gentle invitation, not an invitation to analyze, not an invitation to decode, but an invitation to let go. To let go of the long day and unfinished tasks, to let go of the story you tell yourself while awake, to let go of the need to understand control or get things right. Listening to stories about dreams is not about remembering details, but about allowing the mind to enter a slower, deeper rhythm. Like standing by the ocean at night, you do not need to count the waves. You simply let their sound become the background for your breath. Dreams open another world, not to escape reality, but to keep the inner life from drying out. And before sleep, that may be the gentlest gift the mind can receive. A space where it does not need to do anything at all, only to be. If you notice your breathing slowing, if your thoughts feel softer, less sharp, if you no longer feel the need to hold the story tightly with reason, then this is exactly where this journey is meant to bring you. From here, we will continue very slowly to move deeper into that world. Not to explain dreams, but simply to be with them. Part 2. Why do we dream? The major theories. When speaking about dreams, humanity has long asked a question that seems simple, yet has never received a complete answer. Why do we dream? Why, when the body rests and the eyes close, does another kind of activity quietly awaken within us sometimes? Even more vivid than waking life, modern science offers many hypotheses. Some suggest that dreams help consolidate memory. Experiences from the day do not disappear during sleep. They are reorganized, filtered, and connected. In dreams, fragments of memory are placed side by side without strict logic, yet with deep emotional honesty. Important experiences are retained while unnecessary details gently fade away. Other theories see dreams as a space for emotional processing. During the day, we must control ourselves, our words, reactions, behaviors. Many emotions remain unexpressed. At night, dreams allow those emotions to appear freely, without judgment, logic, or restraint. Sadness, fear, joy, longing, regret all may merge as the mind quietly comforts itself by allowing everything to exist. Some researchers view dreams as a safe environment for rehearsing responses to danger. In dreams, we can flee, confront, fail, or survive threats without real consequence. Yet even when dreams feel intense, the body remains protected, as if the mind works while the body rests. Others note that creativity flourishes in dreams. When logic recedes and familiar barriers dissolve, new connections form. Ideas arise not because they are sought, but because they are allowed to surface. What matters most is this: no single theory excludes the others. Dreams do not serve just one purpose. They may organize memory, process emotion, rehearse response, and nourish creativity all at once softly. From Jung's perspective, dreams exist not to serve consciousness, but to maintain balance within the whole psyche. The unconscious continuously compensates for what consciousness neglects or exaggerates. Dreams are thus a natural act of healing, quiet, non-invasive patient. Both science and psychology agree on one thing: dreams are not meaningless. Even when we do not understand or remember them, they continue their work. They do not demand interpretation. Sometimes simply occurring is enough. Before sleep, you do not need to choose a theory. You do not need to understand your dreams. It is enough to know this: your mind is not working in vain at night. Something within you is quietly caring for you even when you are unaware. If you feel a little more at ease now, if the question, Why do I dream no longer feels urgent. If you allow sleep to arrive without reason, then this is where this part is meant to take you. Dreams do not need to be understood. They only need you to sleep deeply enough to let them work. Part 3. The sleeping brain never closes its door. When we say going to sleep, we often assume everything inside shuts down. But the truth is gentler and stranger. The brain does not close its door. It simply changes direction from outward attention to inward care. In sleep's quiet darkness, the brain still listens, not to react but to register selectively. Distant sounds, steady rain, a calm voice they may enter without waking consciousness. Like underground streams, unseen yet influential. The brain responds to external signals even during dreams. A familiar sound may weave into a dream. A repeating rhythm may soften it, but the brain filters carefully. Only signals that preserve safety are allowed in. This is comforting. Even in sleep, something within you stands guard. During this time, memory is gently reorganized. Experiences are arranged by emotional resonance, not chronological order. What matters most is not social importance, but inner impact. Some experiments show that memory can be reinforced through gentle sound during sleep learning without awareness. Sleep is not empty. It is quiet labor. Scents, too, move directly toward emotion. A familiar, safe scent can deepen sleep or soften nightmares without appearing in the dream itself. Jung understood that the unconscious communicates through atmosphere, rhythm, and feeling, not words. Sound, scent, and cadence are its language. You do not need to do anything right while sleeping. Sleep is not a task. It is a space where natural processes continue. If the words now feel like background, if thoughts drift without effort, then the brain has turned inward. You can rest. The door is not closed. It is gently held so silence can do its work. Part 4. Dreams can be gently guided. For a very long time, dreams were considered entirely spontaneous, coming and going on their own. Impossible to control, impossible to influence. But as science has moved deeper into the layers of sleep, a more subtle understanding has begun to emerge. Dreams do not need to be controlled, but they can be invited. Not through force, but through signals that are very gentle and offered at exactly the right moment. Recent studies show that just before we fall into deep sleep, the brain passes through a special state, one in which consciousness has not fully disappeared, but logic has already softened. In that moment, fleeting images, gentle sounds, and unfinished thoughts can plant a small seed for the coming dream. Not to determine its content, but to offer an initial direction of flow. Some modern wearable devices are designed to recognize this transition. They do not wake the sleeper, they do not demand attention. They simply offer very subtle signals, a familiar sound, a simple word, a slow rhythm. These signals do not enter the dream directly. They remain at the threshold, noticeable enough for the brain to register, but not strong enough to pull consciousness back. What is fascinating is this. Dreams do not respond well to clear commands. They do not like being told dream about this, but they are highly sensitive to psychological atmosphere. A feeling of safety, a gentle image, an unfinished thought, these can all be carried forward into the dream naturally, as if the dream only needs a hint and then writes the rest on its own. In the state between wakefulness and dreaming known as hypnagogia, many people experience half-dream images. They are not full dreams, but no longer waking thoughts either. They appear and fade quickly, softly, without effort. And it is precisely in these fragile images that the mind becomes most flexible. Freed from logic, free from the demand to be correct, the mind can experiment with new connections. Many creative ideas have emerged from this transitional space, not because people tried to think, but because they stopped trying to stay awake. In this way, dreams are not only a place of rest, but a place where the mind is allowed to play safely. As technology approaches this territory, it touches a very delicate boundary. the boundary between sleep, imagination, and awareness. But the important question is not how much technology can do, but how we approach dreams themselves. If dreams are treated as something to be controlled, intervention easily backfires. But if dreams are seen as a living process, gentle suggestions can become support, not intrusion. From Carl Gustav Jung's perspective, the unconscious does not respond to commands but to attitude. When consciousness learns to step back, without imposing, without demanding outcomes, the unconscious becomes willing to open. Dream incubation, properly understood, is not a technique for controlling dreams but an art of creating conditions. And before sleep, this carries a very gentle message: you do not need to do anything with your dreams. You only need to offer them a space that feels safe. Soft light, steady sound, an unfinished thought, and then let the dream continue on its own. If, right now, the boundary between waking and sleeping feels blurred, if images are no longer clear, only sensations, if you are unsure whether you are listening or dreaming, that is exactly the transitional zone dreams. Love. You do not need to step into it. It will open on its own. And in that very gentle opening, the dream will arrive, not led, only softly invited. Part 5. Lucid dreaming. When you know you are dreaming, there are rare moments in the inner life when two worlds that usually remain separate touch each other. One of those moments is lucid dreaming, when you are dreaming and at the same time you know that you are dreaming. Not fully awake, not fully asleep, just a fragile meeting point where awareness opens slightly and then pauses. In a lucid dream, the dreamer may realize, this is a dream. This realization is not loud. It does not necessarily shatter the dream. When it arrives gently, it can create a very special space where you are no longer completely swept away, but also not trying to control anything. Research shows that in this state, the dreamer may still think intentionally. Some solve simple problems. Some answer questions through eye movements, a tiny form of communication between dream and waking world. But the importance does not lie in these abilities. It lies in this fact: awareness can appear without destroying the dream. Lucid dreaming is often described as a safe training ground, not because it allows everything, but because it allows experience without real cost. In dreams, you may face fear, change a response, try a different path, and when you wake, your body remains safe in bed. The mind learns without harm. Yet lucid dreaming is not absolute control. It dissolves easily if the dreamer becomes too excited, too curious, or too eager to take charge. Dreams do not like to be commanded. They only allow dialogue. When awareness moves too close to the center, the dream often retreats like mist, dissolving in bright light. From Jung's perspective, this reflects the true relationship between consciousness and the unconscious. The unconscious is not something to conquer. It is a world with its own laws. When consciousness respects those boundaries, the unconscious opens. When consciousness intrudes, it closes. In this Jungian spirit, lucid dreaming is not a skill for mastering dreams, but a lesson in balance. Knowing you are dreaming without needing to act. Recognizing, then resting. Observing, then letting go. This attitude sustains lucidity far longer than any effort to control. Before sleep, this offers a gentle reassurance. You do not need to disappear completely to rest deeply. Awareness can step back instead of shutting off entirely. And that single step back is already enough for dreams to continue their quiet work. If you feel awake, but not tense. If you are listening, but not analyzing. If awareness feels like someone standing on the porch, not entering the room, then you are touching the spirit of lucid dreaming. Not mastery, not disappearance, just the right distance so the dream can continue and you can rest more deeply. Part 6. When dreams spill into waking life normally. Dreams belong to the night, and the body belongs to the bed. The brain separates these two worlds carefully. When we dream, the body is locked, so dream actions do not spill into reality. This protective mechanism allows us to run, fight, or fall in dreams while remaining safely still. But sometimes that separation becomes thinner. Some people move while dreaming. They speak, shout, gesture, even walk. This is known as REM sleep behavior disorder, when dreams are no longer fully contained within the inner world. The dream in these cases seems to seek an exit. From the outside, this may appear alarming, but at a deeper level, it signals a slight misalignment between brain and body. Not weakness, but a very subtle disruption in coordination between layers of awareness. Medicine tells us that in some cases, such disturbances may appear years before neurodegenerative conditions are diagnosed. But this must be said very gently. Dreams do not cause illness. Dreams only signal. Like a soft knock on the door of awareness, they suggest that something in the system deserves attention. Beyond movement, there are more subtle and common experiences where the boundary between dream and waking blurs. Sleep paralysis, for example, occurs when consciousness wakes while the body remains asleep. You can hear and feel but cannot move. This may come with pressure on the chest or the sense of a presence. It feels real, but it is not dangerous. It is simply a momentary lack of synchronization. Similarly, hallucinations at sleep onset or awakening, seeing images, hearing voices, feeling as if falling, flying, or leaving the body, exist within this fragile transition zone. Jung described these moments as doors between layers of the psyche. They are not pathological when they arrive gently and fade quickly. They only show that dreams have not fully withdrawn while consciousness has begun to return. At a deeper level, these experiences remind us that humans are not machines with clear on-off switches. We are a continuous flow between waking and sleeping, body and mind. When stress is prolonged, when emotions are suppressed, when life moves too fast, that flow may ripple, and dreams reflect this. From a Jungian perspective, dreams spilling into waking life are not intruders, but messengers. They do not come to frighten, but to suggest that something needs to be heard more slowly. Perhaps the body needs deeper rest. Perhaps emotions need acknowledgement. Perhaps life's rhythm needs softening. The most important message, especially when listening before sleep, is this: dreams are not threats. They are often the mind's final attempt to protect balance. If you have ever experienced sleep paralysis, if you have awakened with images still hovering, if you have dreamed so vividly that the feeling followed you into the day, remember, you are not broken. Your system is simply recalibrating. Recalibration requires time, gentleness, and nights where sleep is not forced to be done correctly. Right now, as you listen, your body is in a safe place. If dreams arrive, they will arrive in their own way. And if they linger a little longer, you are still held. Let your breathing slow. Let awareness loosen its guard. And let sleep do its quiet healing work. You do not need to monitor your dreams. You do not need to analyze them. You do not need to fear their crossing of boundaries. Dreams know how to return. The body knows how to adjust. And the mind, when listened to long enough, finds its rhythm again. Now you may allow everything to slow even more. No need to wait for dreams. No need to defend against them. Just sleep and let the night do its gentle, unseen work. Part 7. Dreams occur across multiple stages of sleep. When we speak about dreams, many people imagine them as a single event. You fall asleep, you dream, and then you wake up. But the truth is far more subtle. Dreams do not occur in only one moment, nor do they belong to only one stage of sleep. They are more like a current that weaves through multiple layers of the night, changing form, intensity, and tone with each rhythm of the brain. For many years, science believed that dreams appeared only during REM sleep. When the eyes move rapidly, the body is nearly still, and the brain is highly active. Gradually, however, another understanding emerged even during non-REM sleep. When rest is deeper and quieter, people still dream. These dreams are usually less dramatic, less visually sharp, but they carry a strong sense of reality, like slow-moving thoughts or fragments of memory not yet shaped into a story. This invites a very Jungian way of seeing dreams. They are not a stage that opens at a fixed hour. They are more like a multi-level theater, where each floor is lit differently. In REM sleep, dreams are vivid, symbolic, emotionally intense. In non-REM sleep, dreams are quieter, closer to reflection, like early drafts of the mind before images fully form. Modern research has identified a region known as the posterior hot zone of the brain, an area that becomes active whenever people are dreaming, whether in REM or non-REM sleep. This suggests that dreaming does not depend solely on how deep or light sleep is, but on whether the brain is constructing a subjective experience. When this region is active, the inner world turns on. And when that world appears, something remarkable happens. Emotion is amplified, while logic lowers its voice. The parts of the brain responsible for analysis, reasoning, and control so active during waking life temporarily step back. Meanwhile, centers related to emotion, memory, and imagery move forward. This is why dreams can feel illogical, yet emotionally precise. From Jung's perspective, this is not disorder but a different kind of order. An order based not on linear reasoning, but on association, symbolism, and feeling. Each night, the brain does more than rest. It directs a private film using material from an entire lifetime. What just happened? What is very old, and emotions that never found words. This film does not need a fully awake audience. It does not need immediate understanding. It only needs permission to unfold. And because it unfolds across many stages of sleep, dreams have no fixed rhythm. Some arrive like strong waves, others like thin mist. Some nights you remember clearly, other nights only a vague aftertaste remains, yet all of it belongs to the same process. Hearing this before sleep carries a gentle meaning. You do not need to dream the right way. You do not need vivid dreams, beautiful dreams, or meaningful dreams. Whatever stage of sleep you enter, your mind is working in the best way it can. Even if you remember nothing in the morning, the film has still played. It simply did not leave a ticket behind. And perhaps the most comforting thought is this: each night as you sleep, your brain is quietly caring for you. It organizes experiments, connects, and releases. It gives emotions a voice when daytime has been too busy. It allows logic to rest, so the inner space can breathe. If right now you feel everything slowing down, if you no longer try to imagine what kind of dream will come, if you accept that tonight, whether you dream much or little, you are still being cared for, then you have already entered the right rhythm of sleep. Let the brain create its own film. You do not need a front row seat. You do not even need to watch. Just sleep and let the night tell its own story. And there is something very gentle in realizing that dreams are not confined to a single moment of the night. They do not wait for a specific door to open. Instead, they move through the entire structure of sleep like warmth, spreading slowly through a dark room. Whether you are deeply asleep or just touching sleep, the mind is still whispering to itself. During non-REM stages, as the body grows heavier and breathing deepens, the brain becomes quieter and dreams change shape. They are no longer vivid stories. They become sensations, ideas, floating fragments of memory. You might not call this dreaming, but it is still an inner experience, one where the mind arranges what could not be arranged while awake. As the night moves into REM sleep, dreams gradually take clearer form. Colors appear, characters emerge, spaces open. Yet the brain does not switch from not dreaming to dreaming. It simply changes how it tells the story. The same current continues, now choosing images instead of sensations, stories instead of afterglow. The posterior hot zone, identified by science as the center of dreaming experience, functions like a steady background light. When that light is on, dim or bright, the inner world exists. This carries a deep message. You do not need perfect sleep to dream. The mind does not demand ideal conditions. It only asks that you let go. Throughout this process, there is a delicate arrangement. Emotion is allowed to lead, while logic is invited to step back. Not because logic is unimportant, but because it has already worked enough during the day. Night gives space to what cannot be solved by thinking alone. In this role, dreams act as a soft buffer between continuous days of living. In Jung's view, this is the unconscious balancing itself. It needs no interference from the ego. It does not need to be understood immediately. It only needs time, quiet, and safety. Each sleep stage is a different layer of this process, none unnecessary, none inferior. So when you wake up remembering nothing, it does not mean there were no dreams. The film simply played without being recorded, and that is perfectly fine. Not every dream wishes to cross into daytime. Some exist only to fulfill their role at night, then dissolve like mist. Hearing this before sleep is a gentle reminder you do not need to track your dreams. You do not need to expect them. You do not need to remember. Whether you drift into REM or non-REM, whether your dreams are vivid or faint, your brain is caring for you in the best way it knows how. And right now, as you lie still, as your breathing slows just a little, as thoughts loosen their grip on words, let your mind choose its own layer of sleep. No guidance needed, no supervision required. Tonight, dreams will come whether you notice them or not, and you only need to sleep just a little deeper. Part 8. Dream, content, memory, emotion, and symbol, perhaps. What confuses people most about dreams is not whether we dream, but why dreams are so strange. In dreams, things that never meet in waking life stand side by side with ease. A familiar street may lead directly into a childhood home. Someone long unseen may speak words that sound strange, yet touch the exact emotion. Time stretches and folds, space bends, and the self in the dream is no longer quite the same self from waking life. Science describes part of this as the blending of recent memory day residue with older memory dream lag. Fragments from yesterday mingle with memories from years ago. But even this explanation falls short of describing the subjective experience of dreaming. Because in dreams, memories do not appear as data, but as feeling. They are not arranged by time, but by emotional meaning. A small event from the day, a glance, a sentence, a fleeting moment, can become the center of a dream if it touches something deeper. Meanwhile, major events may disappear entirely if the mind is not ready to process them. Dreams do not care about objective importance. They care about what remains unfinished inside. This is why threats, conflicts, and social interactions appear so often in dreams, not to frighten us, but as a form of rehearsal. In dreams, the mind tests scenarios. If this happens, how would I respond? If that relationship changes, how would I feel? This is not prediction of the future, but a way to increase flexibility around unresolved situations. Dreams become even stranger in how they bend familiar rules. Physics softens. You may fly, fall without pain, pass through walls. Time loses its single direction. A moment may stretch endlessly, or a lifetime may collapse into seconds. And the ego, the eye of daytime, becomes fluid, sometimes observer, sometimes character, sometimes dissolving into the scene itself. From Carl Jung's perspective, this is not chaos, but the symbolic language of the unconscious. The unconscious does not speak in arguments, but in images. It does not organize by logic, but by emotional similarity. What matters is not what an image is, but what it feels like. Different images may carry the same meaning if they awaken the same inner state. This is why dreams resist direct translation into words. Any attempt to interpret too quickly risks losing the most delicate part of the experience. Dreams do not need immediate understanding. They need permission to exist. When we do not rush to label them, dreams can do their work, connecting fragments, softening rigidity, and expanding how we experience ourselves. Hearing about dream content before sleep offers a gentle reassurance you do not need to worry if your dreams are strange. Strangeness is not an error. It is a sign that the mind is freely experimenting. When logic rests, emotion and imagery reorganize. Boundaries loosen. Not to break you, but to make you more flexible in waking life. If tonight your dreams feel illogical, if images appear that make little sense, if the story has no clear beginning or end, remember, Dreams do not ask to be understood. They only ask that you sleep deeply enough to let them be themselves. And right now, as you listen, as your breathing slows, as thoughts dissolve into sensation, allow tonight's dreams to bend their own world freely. No tracking, no control, just sleep, and let the mind tell its story in its own way. There is something important that needs to be whispered very softly. The unconscious has no obligation to be clear. It does not exist to please consciousness. It exists to keep inner life moving, flexible, alive. And so dreams do not tell stories the way daytime narratives do. In dreams, memory is not stored like tidy files. It exists as emotional fabric, each piece with its own color, warmth, and weight. At night, the unconscious spreads these pieces out, layers them and stitches them together with threads only it understands. The result is an image both familiar and strange. Familiar because the emotion is true, strange because the logic is not. This is why distant memories appear beside recent details. A childhood friend may wear the face of someone you met yesterday. A childhood home may glow with present light. Dreams do not care about when. They care about what still resonates. And what resonates is rarely the event itself, but the feeling that has not settled. Threats and social tensions repeat in dreams not because the mind wants to disturb you, but because it is practicing safely. Being chased, lost, rejected, misunderstood, these are rehearsals without real cost. A dark stage where every mistake is allowed. Here, the bending of physics, time, and ego is not playfulness, but a deep, adaptive strategy. When rigid rules loosen, the mind learns not to get stuck. Being many selves at once in dreams helps waking life become less rigid. Jung viewed dream symbols not as codes to crack, but as bridges. An image does not stand for a fixed meaning, but for a process unfolding. Symbols appear when something cannot yet be spoken, but still needs to be felt. This is why immediate interpretation can interrupt the work dreams are doing. Some dreams only need to be dreamed. Some symbols only need to be seen. Their effectiveness lies not in memory, but in whether you wake feeling lighter or heavier. Hearing this before sleep is deeply reassuring. If tonight your dreams feel strange, fragmented, illogical, it says nothing bad about you. It only means your mind is experimenting freely, organizing itself, healing in its own way. And if tonight you remember nothing, if it feels like you passed through a dim space, if morning leaves only a faint aftertaste, that is also fine. Dreams do not require witnesses. They only need darkness and quiet to work. Right now, as these words soften into rhythm, as images blur, let tonight's dreams tell their story freely. No need to understand, no need to remember, just sleep a little deeper. Part 9. Dreams across life stages and in animals. Dreams do not stand still. They change with us, grow with us, age with us. Looking across a lifetime, we see that dreams speak in different voices at different stages, as if the mind knows exactly what needs to be told at each moment. In children, dreams are vivid, image-rich, illogical, full of motion. The boundary between imagination and reality is thin, so dreams blend easily into waking life. Talking animals, flying simple yet intense fears, all reflect a mind learning the world. Jung believed that at this stage, the unconscious operates with minimal ego interference. Dreams are raw, symbolic, and deeply real. In adolescence, dreams change tone. They become more intense, emotional, conflicted. As the ego forms, the unconscious responds with opposing imagery, being chased, lost, falling in love, rebelling. Dreams become a rehearsal space for identity where the mind practices roles that waking life does not yet allow. In adulthood, dreams often revolve around responsibility, relationships, and choice. They are less fantastical, but deeper. Recurring dreams, familiar symbols, lingering emotions signal parts of the self not yet fully lived. From a Jungian perspective, dreams now serve to prevent complete identification with social roles. In old age, dreams slow down again. They become quieter, memory-filled, reflective. Conflicts fade. Dreams resemble a gentle dialogue with the whole of one's life. The deceased return. Old places reappear. Dreams no longer push change but help the psyche close the circle. Remarkably, dreams appear even before memory exists. Fetuses and infants spend large portions of sleep in REM. Their brains have no stories yet they dream as if dreaming were a basic tool for building the brain itself. Here, dreams are not content but function, connection, growth, preparation. And humans are not alone in dreaming. Many animals show dreamlike states. Dogs twitch and vocalize. Birds rehearse their songs. Rats replay neural paths of daytime movement. Even octopuses, evolutionarily distant, shift color and move complexly during sleep as if inhabiting an inner world. This suggests a gentle thought: dreaming may be an ancient evolutionary trait older than language, older than self-reflective consciousness. A way life learned to experiment, remember, and adapt within the safety of darkness. In Jung's spirit, something so universal and persistent cannot be meaningless. Dreaming is a fundamental function of the psyche, carried across millions of years. Each personal dream, however small, contains traces of a deep collective memory life observing itself. Hearing this before sleep can feel deeply calming. You are not alone when you dream. You are participating in something ancient and shared. When you dream, you do what infants do, what ancestors once did, what other creatures do in their own way. And right now, as you listen, as you approach your own sleep, remember tonight's dreams do not belong only to today. They belong to a long current of life. You do not need to understand them. You only need to allow yourself to continue them gently, slowly, naturally. There is comfort in knowing that dreams are not products of modern minds nor privileges of adulthood. They existed before language, before the concept of I, and carry memory deeper than any personal story. In fetuses and infants, REM sleep dominates. Dreaming here is rhythm, not narrative. A background music helping neurons connect, preparing space for consciousness. As humans grow, dreams become personal, yet retain ancient structure. Recurring motifs, falling, flying, being chased, returning home, appear across cultures and eras. Jung called these archetypal patterns not because images match, but because they serve the same psychological function. Animals mirror this process. When dogs twitch or birds rehearse songs, their brains are consolidating experience. Dreaming, even without complex symbols, serves the same purpose, learning safely in darkness. Even octopuses, far from us, evolutionarily display dreamlike sleep states. This hints that dreaming is not an accident but an early survival strategy. From this view, dreams need not be fully explained. They are foundational, like breath or heartbeat. You do not need to understand every breath to live. You do not need to understand every dream to rest. If tonight you dream, or dream without remembering, or wake with only a faint sense of having traveled, that is enough. Dreams do not require witnesses. They only need permission. Right now, as you sink gently down, as breathing evens out, as the body releases the day, remember your dreams belong to a very long river. You do not need to continue it. It is already flowing. Now you only need to sleep naturally, slowly and quietly. Part 10. Dreams, the final private mystery. After everything science has measured, analyzed and named, there is still something that dreams keep entirely to themselves. Even if we can observe brainwaves, identify REM and non-REM stages, record heart rate, breathing, eye movement, the true story of a dream does not belong to any machine. It belongs to the one who is dreaming, and only to that person. In this way, dreams are the last truly private space of human life, a place no one can enter with you, a place that does not need to be presented, does not need to be explained, does not need to be shared. Each night when you sleep, a door opens without noise, without light, leading into a cinema with only one audience member. No ticket required, no screening schedule, no obligation to remember the film after you leave. In that cinema, the brain tells stories in ways it cannot during the day, not in sequence, not in logic, not in familiar language. Images appear and dissolve, characters arrive and disappear. Scenes unfold without beginnings or endings. And you, viewer, character, and space at once float within it without needing to understand. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious does not seek to be understood in a rational sense. It only asks to be respected. Dreams do not demand interpretation each morning. In fact, forcing dreams to carry clear meaning can sometimes take away their greatest value, their ability to calm the mind without explanation. Some dreams you remember vividly. Some leave only a vague feeling. Some nights you wake unsure whether you dreamed at all. All of these are valid. Dreams do not judge their own experience. They do not grade themselves. They do not demand attention. They work in darkness, then quietly withdraw. And perhaps precisely because they do not need to be fully understood, dreams can become a true resting place for the mind. When during the day you must constantly think, analyze, decide, explain, night allows you to do nothing at all. No need to know who you are. No need to know what is happening. No need to understand even the dream itself. Hearing this before sleep is a gentle invitation tonight. You do not need to monitor your dreams. You do not need to remember them in the morning. You do not need to ask why. Just let them flow like an underground stream beneath the surface, cooling, softening, and moving on. Dreams do not need you to be alert in order to exist. They only need you to let go. Let go of the long day. Let go of roles. Let go of thoughts. Let go even of the desire to sleep correctly. When you let go enough, dreams will come or not come, and both are completely fine. Right now, as you listen to these final words, as the sound has grown familiar, as your eyelids feel a little heavier, allow your consciousness to step back very slowly, not disappearing, just moving slightly aside. Behind it, dreams are opening their private cinema. You do not need to enter yet. You do not even need to watch. Just sleep and let that deeply private mystery do its quiet work. Wishing you a peaceful sleep. A dream or no dream is already enough. In that moment, consciousness has not completely vanished, yet it no longer holds control. Thoughts become scattered. Words dissolve into rhythm. Images lose their sharp edges, leaving only a vague sensation as if standing before something vast and very still. It is precisely in this transitional space that dreams do what they do best. They create a world without a controller. No one commands a dream to appear. No one decides its content. It comes when there is enough quiet, and it leaves when it is complete. Dreams do not follow the schedule of consciousness. They follow their own rhythm. Science can tell us which brain state is active, which regions are firing, which waves are moving across the cortex. But science cannot step inside the story. It cannot know why that image appears to you and not to someone else. It cannot know why the same symbol feels different to different people. And perhaps this is exactly why dreams remain the final private mystery, a place each person is allowed to keep for themselves. In daytime life, very little truly belongs to us. Language belongs to society. Roles belong to circumstance. Expectations belong to others. But in dreams, nothing needs explanation. You do not need to prove you are right. You do not need to perform an identity. You do not need to accomplish anything. You simply exist within a flow of images and feelings that ask no effort. Carl Jung believed that it is precisely in this unobserved place that the psyche can regulate itself most deeply, not through thinking, but through experience, not through words, but through symbols, not through action, but through movement and flow. And therefore, dreams do not need to mean something in the usual sense to be valuable. Some dreams come and go without leaving a trace. Some leave only a faint echo, like the sense of having passed through a familiar place without remembering its name. Some dreams, even without remembered content, leave you waking in a different state, lighter, slower, deeper. That is how you know the dream has finished its work. even if you never noticed. At this point before sleep, perhaps the most important thing to keep is this: you do not need to do anything with your dreams. You do not need to wait for them. You do not need to observe them. You do not need to remember them. You do not need to understand them. You only need to create the conditions, a space dark enough, quiet enough, safe enough, and let dreams come if they wish. And if tonight you do not dream, or you dream but do not remember, or you simply feel as if you passed through something very deep, that is completely fine. Dreams do not require consciousness to exist. They only need permission to let go. Right now, as these final words begin to dissolve, as you no longer need to follow the thread, as your breathing naturally finds its steady rhythm, let consciousness step back just a little more. No need to disappear. Just do not hold on. Behind you, dreams are working very quietly. They do not need your help. They do not need witnesses. Now you can sleep, very slowly, very deeply, very safely, wishing you a peaceful night. And if a dream passes by, let it drift exactly as it is. After this long journey through the deeper layers of dreaming, perhaps what matters most is not what you have understood, but what you no longer need to understand. When it comes to dreams, the unconscious, the worlds beneath awareness, knowledge is only the opening door. True rest begins when even that door is gently set down. Dreams, as we have listened together, are not puzzles that require solutions. They do not ask you to remember, analyze, or interpret. They come each night like an underground river flowing beneath waking life, carrying memory, emotion, and things not yet spoken. And when morning comes, that river quietly recedes, leaving behind a feeling hard to name, perhaps lighter, deeper, or simply calmer. Carl Jung viewed dreams as a way the mind speaks with itself. Not through logical language, but through images, symbols, sensations. And for this reason, dreams do not need to be understood correctly. They only need to be respected. To respect a dream is to let it exist without interference, to allow it to come without demand, to allow it to leave without holding on. If you are listening at this moment, your consciousness may already feel tired. Words are no longer tightly followed. Breathing may have slowed. The body may feel heavier, warmer. This is not distraction. It is a sign that you are returning to the natural state of night. In daytime life, you must constantly manage everything: time, work, roles, emotions. But night is the rare time when you do not need to manage anything at all. You do not need to sleep well. You do not need to dream correctly. You only need to allow yourself to rest. Dreams will do their work. The unconscious will stand guard. The body will regulate itself. You do not need to be there to supervise. And if tonight you dream something strange, or you dream but do not remember, or you are unsure whether you dreamed at all, that is perfectly fine. There is no failure in sleep, only different rhythms of rest. The journey we have taken through questions of dreams, sleep stages, symbols, and the delicate boundaries between waking and dreaming was not meant to make you more alert. It was created so you could safely let alertness go. And now you may stop. No more thinking, no more waiting. Just let the night hold you. Before you drift fully into sleep, if these gentle stories have helped your mind slow down, if you would like to continue being lulled to rest by calm, thoughtful explorations of the human inner world, you may subscribe to the Stories for Rain Sleep channel. Subscribing not only helps you find these stories again each night, but also supports the continued creation of content that is slow, deep, quiet, and pressure-free, made for those who truly need rest. And now, you do not need to do anything more. Let the screen remain. Let the sound fade. Let consciousness step back very gently, wishing you a truly peaceful sleep. A sleep that does not need beautiful dreams, only deep enough rest. And if a dream passes by, let it drift in its own way. Good night.